Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shay's too, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let gang, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. Now you thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. And you thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Happy 4th of July, guys, and thank you so much for tuning in tonight, this morning. And guys, we have a great show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about a juror who is speaking out regarding Diddy's case and why they chose, not guilty and guilty for some. So we're going to talk about that person. Also, you guys, Suge Knight says they did the unthinkable with Pac's ashes. Now, I did touch on that just a little bit the other day, but I didn't get a chance to tell you guys the entire story, or I didn't tell you that story. I told you the other story, so I will be telling you guys the rest of that tonight, and any other breaking news that I have, I'll give that to you as well. So you guys get you something to drink, get your bed. If you are at work, make sure you are doing your job, but listen and watch me on the down low. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sorry about being late, but y'all do know that I'll be getting off of work. So it'd be like almost difficult sometimes to get in here and do a live. Y'all just don't know. I'll be just like walking, literally, I'll be just walking through the door. And then I have to, get my chores done and, get ready, bed and all that. So when I get off this live, I can just go brush my teeth and then just basically, get in the bed and stuff. So thank you guys for, waiting and everything. And I do appreciate you guys. And let me go ahead and ask you guys another favor. First of all, I got the reaction thing up here. I need to change that. Man, I be putting up off. I think I forgot to change it.
Turn the lights down low in the drama.
And there go shit. I'm looking for the reaction logo. Let me find it. Okay, it's up here. I always be clicking the wrong thing. Let me go close this other door, guys. Hold on. Come out of there. Come out of there. Come out of there. Thank you. Let's photo. Yeah, my cat Sable will be in the other cat's room And Mercedes just do not like that, you guys. So I keep her out of there and stuff. I close the door. Hopefully she'll get ready to go to bed. But anyway, as I was going to say, guys, if you enjoyed this content tonight, make sure you guys thumbs it up. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit the bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys again. Let me go ahead and do the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And that entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area. Part of it is scrolling across that screen, and it will be in my comment area as soon as I get a chance to do all of that, guys. All right. All right. Welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watches this in the replay. In the chat, we got Jermaine in the place to be. What's up, Jermaine? Thank you so much for being here. And thanks for waiting. You're probably half asleep now, but, you know, you still here. You know what I'm saying? You're still here, so that's cool. All right? It is cool because it is late out there on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it's not that late. But on the East Coast, it definitely is late. And on the Central Coast. So I do appreciate whomever come and watch this live, whether you watch it live or in the replay. I do appreciate you guys. And don't forget, guys, if y'all want to show further support for this channel, you can do that by doing a super sticker, super chat, or a membership for $4.99 per month. Or you can copy yourself. No, I already said it. Or you can do a cash app at $Shades2. All right. And thank you guys so much. Those donations, guys, let me just tell y'all. Donations help pay for, you know, the expenses during these lives because they're not free, you know. And, you know, that's what we do with them. You know, when I get donations, I usually pay StreamYard and VidIQ and, you know, all the other stuff we do, you know, the internet, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff to make this show possible. You know, the, how we do our thumbnails, all of that stuff, the music, everything. Nothing is free in life. Y'all get that. Nothing. All right? All right. But YouTube wants you to work on this show for free, though, because all these videos I put up, man, you would think I'd be making a lot of money out here on YouTube, but I don't, because they do not pay like they should. Trust me, they really just don't, you know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started off with this live. Let me see if anybody else is over here in this chat. I'm sitting up here taking my hair down and everything, guys. All right, let me put this up on the screen. So the first thing first, y'all, let's talk about, which one do I want to talk about first? Suge Knight Crazy Butt. Coming up here talking about somebody's, what he claims that they did 50,000 years later, which is crazy, man. Let me go over here and look at this and see first. I think we will talk about Suge Knight first. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. Sugie Bear. We're going to talk about him first, okay? So let's go ahead and take this down. It's kind of weird not talking about Diddy's trial like that, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it is what it is. We will still be talking about him a little bit, but not like, you know, not like normally. Okay, let's see. Let's do Suge Knight and Tupac. I put these headers up in case people don't want to, you know, watch the, you know, they want to hear certain things and they may not want to hear the other things. So that's why I do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Suge Knight. Hold on, let me see if I can find the daggone story. So anyway, here it is right here. Sugie Bear. Okay. So anyway, y'all, get this. Suge Knight says Tupac's ashes were rolled into a blunt, but he claimed he did not hit him because of probation. What? What, Suge Knight? What? Let me go to TikTok and let them tell you first, and then I'll go over the story because it's always funnier when other people talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they be adding more stuff than I'll do, and they may be a little bit more braver and talk about them, you know, whatever the case is. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull that up real quick, and we're gonna watch that first. So let's see. Let me take Shayla them off. This is from earlier. So let's see. Suge Knight. Hold on, y'all. And you know what? He may be telling the truth. He may be telling the truth. You just never know. You never know what people do. You know, they be pouring alcohol out on graves and stuff. So, you know, they could have did that. Let's see. Let's hope no music is playing in the background. See, I knew it. They cannot tell anything without putting music on. Let's see. So we're going to watch him talk about it. Hold on. So let me go ahead and share this so y'all can see this so we can shake our heads regarding this. I'm not going to say laugh, but we're going to shake our heads because this is a hot ass, juicy mess. Okay. It really, truly is. Okay. Let's hear this.
Suge Knight says Tupac's close friends rolled up his ashes after he passed. So you got.
Let's stop this right. He sound like damn Jay-Z, y'all, doesn't he? He sound like Jay-Z. Let's hear this again. Let's go ahead.
Suge Knight says Tupac's close friends rolled up his ashes after he passed. So you got Suge Knight speaking on a story about after Tupac passed, how his close homies basically rolled up the ashes. I'm like, Suge, look, we know you got your little thing going on. They got a whole podcast while in. We know all that, but goddamn, nigga, like some things you need to just keep to yourself. Like, I don't care who done rolled up who ashes. I ain't no damn ashes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, my nigga. But you had Suge Knight basically bringing that up, man. I'm like, damn. That was wild. That was wild, man. That was wild. And I believe most people probably like me. You not rolling up somebody like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? That was wild. That was wild. They done rolled up Tupac's ashes. Suge Knight says Tupac's close friends rolled up his ashes after he passed. So you got Suge Knight speaking on a story about.
So what y'all think about that? What do you think about what Suge Knight said? He said, hey, Tony Bands, what's up, what's up? He said, allegedly, that they rolled up Tupac's ashes and they smoked them. Okay, he said he didn't hit it out. He didn't do it. He said other people did it. I'm going to tell you guys the whole story in 1 second. That was funny as shit the way he was talking. He sounded like Jay-Z and shit. Man, I thought he was about to break out in the rap for a minute there. I got 99 problems, but a blunt ain't one. Hey. Oh my gosh, man. Wait, hold on, y'all. I got 99 problems, but a blunt ain't one. I messed up that time. I said it good the first time, but that's crazy. I thought he was going to break out with one of those tools right there because he sounds just like Jay. All right, so let me go ahead and tell y'all the story. So anyway, like he just said, Suge Knight claims a portion of Tupac's ashes were rolled into a blunt and smoked by unnamed friends and family members, all while Knight himself was unable to partake due to being on probation. All right, now this claim appears in the DATH Road Records co-founder's recent interview with Danielle Batcher for People, with the 60-year-old recalling how Tupac's late mother, Afeni, first approached him about having her son's remains cremated. Knight said he was initially skeptical whether this would be able to be done as quickly as Afeni allegedly wanted, though he was ultimately able to make it happen by paying $1 million in cash. Now, according to Knight, Tupac had expressed before a different view on how he wanted the end of his life to be, looked at, Still, Knight said he complied with Afeni's wishes. As for the alleged ashes in a blunt moment, Knight said that took place not long after Tupac's remains were cremated. He said, I was so happy to say I was on probation and I couldn't smoke. I told his mother, Moms, I would love to, but if I hit that, I'll get in trouble. I was probably the only one who didn't hit him. Okay. Now, that's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. But you know what, y'all? I'm kind of believing Suge. Okay, because you would be because you wouldn't believe what people would do with those ashes. Okay. Now, back in 2023, Jada Pinkett Smith spoke about the experience of receiving Tupac's ashes from Knight during a private memorial. The celebrated All Eyes on Me rapper was just 25 years old when he was unalive in a drive-by shooting in the Las Vegas area in 1996. Now, the latest from Knight, who y'all know is behind bars after pleading no contest to voluntary manslaughter, follows his recent series of remarks on various developments from Diddy's since resolved federal case. All right. So I'm trying to see if I can get his actual audio of him saying this crazy shit. I don't know why they wait so long to talk about this. They should have talked about this years ago. It's like almost 1,000 years later, and they are now just talking about this. All right. This guy tripped me out the way he was talking, though. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all, let's play him one more time. It was funny. Hold on.
Suge Knight says Tupac's close friends rolled up his ashes after he passed. So you got Suge Knight speaking on a story about after Tupac passed, how his close homies basically rolled up their ashes. I'm like, Suge, look, we know you got your little thing going on. They got a whole podcast while in. We know all that, but goddamn, nigga, like some things you need to just keep to yourself. Like, I don't care who done rolled up who ashes. I ain't no damn ashes. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, my nigga. But you had Suge Knight basically bringing that up, man. I'm like, damn, that was wild. That was wild, man. That was wild. And I believe most people probably like me. You not rolling up somebody like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? That was wild. That was wild. They done rolled up Tupac's ashes. Suge Knight says Tupac's
y'all.
friends
This dude sounds tripped out, man. He sounds tripped out. Let me see if I can find Suge Knight, man. He got to be a comedian because that sounds tripped out. I think I watched him before. So let's see, what is this right here? This 16. Let's see what he's talking about right here, y'all. This was just 16 hours ago. Let's see what he's saying here. This guy almost looked like
Tupac's own mother helped end his life. In a shocking new prison interview, Suge Knight claims that after the 1996 shooting, Tupac was in agony in the hospital. Fearing prison more than death, he begged his mom, Afeni, to let him die. Suge says she honored his wish, allegedly giving him pills and telling doctors to let him go if complications arose. He says she made the devastating choice to let her son find peace. Tupac's own mother helped end his life.
They got them looking just like that. Now we talked about this story already. You know, honestly, do y'all believe this? What Suge is saying? Let me ask you guys that, because I mean, anything is possible. I'm almost believing him, you guys. I mean, I may be crazy for believing him, but why would he? What purpose can he serve by lying, making this lie up anyway? You say it's nonsense. Tony Benn said that's crazy. So y'all don't believe, Jermaine, you say you don't believe it. That's a big ass blunt. No, not really, because you're talking about ashes. Those ashes they only took a little bit. Remember that, just a little. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, sometimes people mix in with truth and non-truth. Always remember that. Okay, let's see what else we got for Sugie Bear. So we know about that. Okay, let's see. We know about this right here. And this was way back old right here. Let's see what else. Let me see Suge Knight interview. I want to see if I can get this interview up here. Let's see if they can show it. I don't know if they got the phone call up here because I don't see it as of yet. Let's see. What is this right here? Let's see what they're talking
Let's
about.
look at the Nipsey Hussle situation when some of the witnesses that
Let's see
were
what
there
they're talking
that were
about.
actually shot with him, they got warrants for their arrest when they didn't show up for court. Why is it not in this situation?
I also interviewed Suge Knight from his prison. He claimed that Ray J and Diddy were lovers.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yes.
You know that for a fact.
Yeah, all of these guys, like that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, Pierce, you don't want to be the only straight male at a party for people who under the rainbow situation, right? You don't want to be that guy. Because if someone starts to hit on you in there, now you're the idiot because you're at their situation. How are you upset? What are you here for? So that's why, you know, I would always, if I would get a call from a client and they're going to one of these events, I'm gonna sit in the car. You know, if it comes down to being dangerous, call me. I'll come in. I'm gonna demonstrate immediately.
Do you think Diddy was actually gay?
I think he's a bisexual man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All of these rapper dudes, and most of them are, man. Like,
really?
Yeah, I can tell you off camera. I'll give you some.
Damn, tell us right here.
But in this interview I did with Suge Knight, he also pretty much intimated that Diddy was directly involved in killing Tupac and trying to kill him. Obviously, he was in the car as well. What do you know about that?
The gentleman, Dwayne Keith Davis, who is currently in a Clark County jail because of this, he stated clearly that after the death of Tupac, Diddy called him and said, "Was that us?" Because he was compensating his group to keep him safe as he maneuvered through certain areas. And, you know, living in a hip hop life, situations can become tumultuous fast. So you definitely want to have that street element along with a private protection element. And he had that. And FBI confirmed that there was a payment made for the unaliving of the rapper. Said that the payment got intercepted by Eric Von Zip, who was known for doing things like this. You know, $1 million check goes out, he intercepts it. You know, what is Keefy D gonna do? Call the cops? It's not. A lot of activity takes place, and it's people like me who get calls about it because, like, I became a fixer for people after a while. You know, I have my own company, my own team, and a lot of times people would call me when things are like sticky. And, you know, I made it very clear to these people, like, you know, y'all gonna become enemies of mine because of the way y'all treat ladies, the way y'all treat women, the way his sons operate. I'll never, ever just lay down and die about it. You know, if you stand for something, you know, if you see something, you should say something. And I first started speaking out years ago. People told me I was crazy. They don't say such things anymore.
Right.
Absolutely.
So just on Diddy and Tupac and Suge Knight,
What do you call him,
do you
Tupac?
personally believe he was pretty directly involved?
Absolutely.
No doubt.
No doubt about it.
And do you think the whole hip hop world knows that?
Yes. Yeah, in the hip hop world, it's common knowledge. Absolutely.
What does that tell you about the kind of man Diddy is then?
You ever notice that you always see this gentleman in a towel, shirtless, in his underpants all the time? Why you always half naked in the middle of the day? And, you know, there's a video of him saying that he's a savage. But let's look at the Nipsey Hussle situation.
Okay.
When
We need to see part 2 of this, man. Let me see if I can find part 2 of this. Before I look, though, while I'm looking, let me first come back over here. Y'all, that's a damn trip right there, huh? Okay. Now, you said back to Tupac, if he's unconscious when he got to the hospital, can his mother just sign a DNR? Not sure how that works, though. I don't know for sure. Jermaine, he was unconscious. Yeah, it seems like that she would be signing one since he couldn't make his own decision. But they said that he was awake, though. That's what they claim. Remember, a bunch of people who were there, they said that he was awake, remember? Because remember, did he tell his mom allegedly that he wanted to let him go ahead and pass on? And then allegedly, that's what Suge said, Afeni gave him a pill or something. but it didn't, obviously it didn't work or anything. But yeah, so he was awake. That's why people were saying that his unaliving or passing was weird because he was awake and stuff at first, and they thought he was going to make a, recovery, if I'm not mistaken. So that's crazy. But getting to what this dude is talking about, who is this? And I would like to see part 2 of this because he's dropping some damn bomb, some what's the names and stuff, talking about Diddy. Listen, even though he got not guilty for the racketeering, okay, we still know that this man, we believe that this man is still a hot ass mess. Let's keep it real. All right. And we know that we believe that he is a super freakazoid. All right. We know this. We believe that. We definitely know that he abused Cassie, especially in that one video. We definitely know that one. And I also believe other times he did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And we also believe, well, at least I believe, that he is the byword. I really do. I don't think all of these people are just making this up. He is always in the towel, even though that means anything. It means nothing. But I'm just saying, a lot of these men coming forward doing civil lawsuits, I just don't believe all of these people are lying. Some people are lying, but for the most part, everybody can't be lying. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a crime unless you are raping someone and forcing them to be like that or something like that. So it's not a crime being bi, at least not here, with us humans. It's not, against the law or a crime or for us. That means his mom did what? Well, the thing about it, remember, when his mom tried to assist him, it didn't work or something. That's what Suge said, right? And then I'll play that video again. Oh, she's going to sleep, not good. And then I forgot what else happened. I'll play that video again too, so we can hear that. But she did give him a pill or something. I think that's what she did. But he did not pass on. I think he threw up or something. So we're going to look at that again too. Let me see if I can find part 2 of this, because I just want to hear what else this man is saying. Is he like a security guard for them or something like that? He said they would call him to fix everything up. So let me see if I can find the other one. Piers. That's Piers Morgan. Okay, let me see. Who is this dude though? I don't know who this dude is. Let me see what this dude. Let's see. Who is this dude? They don't even have his name up there. I don't know who this dude is right here. Let's just say Diddy's. I don't know, Diddy employee. Shit, I don't know. I don't know who this dude is. Let's see if we can pull up the part. Oh, this is him right here. That's his bodyguard. Let's look at this right here and see everything he's saying, okay? This is it right here.
Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From
That's the
your
same dude, right?
journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise as soon as somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Oh, this is the bodyguard.
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? I've been poisoned 3 times. My toxicology report showed cyanide. And, cyanide metabolizes into pneumonia in your body. So I've had pneumonia on 3 occasions. And these problems didn't start for me until I started to speak out about people like this. It's been a hard time to line up this interview because the last time I was scheduled to be in this interview, randomly, our car gets hit from the side by a blacked out vehicle. No license plate. That's happened 3 times this month so far.
Really?
Somebody didn't want me to do this interview. Yeah, somebody didn't want me to do this interview. I'm somebody where I've had FBI come to my house before and tell me they found a threat against my life. So, I'm well versed in this world. But You know, I got round the clock security. One of them was sitting right here with me right now. This is a dangerous game people are playing, and it's a good feeling for me to see the justice system prevail, and some people deserve retribution.
You clearly feel that Sean Combs over the years has made people disappear.
Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry?
Okay, so they play it back over. So they over here, somebody said Brittany Murphy and her husband, both with supposed pneumonia. Jamie Foxx, supposedly poisoned. Kevin Hart, Biggie, Michael Jackson, Prince. Somebody said Diddy paid to have you know who. Tupac, you Alice, allegedly. Okay. So, you know, honestly, somebody said Jay-Z is the reason why Tory Lanez is in jail for something he did not do. And he gets, you know, 14 times in jail. This is all wrong. And you know, listen, y'all, you know that was a hit. We know that was, okay? I mean, it's just too obvious. You know, they definitely need to get him to a safer jail or something. I think they did already move him because that was plainly ridiculous. And what he's incarcerated for, I mean, it's just plainly ridiculous. You know, just ridiculous. But we're listening to this former bodyguard tell us about Diddy. All right. And do y'all believe him? Because I know y'all say this girl believe everybody, but I do believe him. I really do. Because even though, you know, I'm glad he didn't get the racketeering charges because I felt like he wasn't running a criminal enterprise. However, that doesn't mean that I think he didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I really do believe that, you know, he has done many things. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, no one has proof. All right. So in today's world and in the legal system, you have to have proof. You said nobody poisoned this clown. So you don't think that's a coincidence that all these people passed with pneumonia and then he got it. So you don't think that people could be doing this to certain celebs to get them out of the way for whatever reason, like Brittany Murphy, her husband, you know, Kim Porter, Tupac, Biggie. So you don't think it's a coincidence. So what you think is happening? Now, like I said, I don't know if this dude is telling the truth or what, but I do believe some of the stuff he's saying because, you know, he's not the only person who said this. You see what I'm saying? He's not the only person. Now, let me see if I can find that video where Suge Knight is talking about Diddy's mom, you know, giving him the pill and stuff. Let's see what they're talking about with this one. This is way back last year. She's supposed to be stuttering and everything. They said P. Diddy's former makeup artist nervous and stuttering at every question that she asked about P. Diddy. Oh, this is the one. Hold on. No. This is the same bodyguard that was talking to this other interview. So he went and talked to Pierce again because he said he's leaving out of the country in fear that he may be targeted. This is the one I was talking about today. Let's see him say that.
Would you already fear about reprisals against you just for speaking out? Would you be genuinely concerned about him coming after you? Is that one of the reasons you've left the country?
Well, here's the thing. You know, the only thing I fear is God and my mom. And I made a promise to my mom that, you know, I'm not gonna revert to an old lifestyle. And I know if he walks, you know, I'm gonna be target number one, which is fine. I'm used to that. You know, it's kind of exciting for me.
Is that exciting or is that slightly scary?
Oh no, it's definitely exciting, Pierce.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that, because in my world, I wouldn't find that exciting.
Well, we come from different professions.
Yes.
In my profession, you know, it's what we live for.
Well, being someone's number one target.
Yeah, so he can unalive him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why he says that. He said because he said he was like the fixer. So if he's a target, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have something weighty. You see what I'm saying? And then he may go after the other person. You see what I'm saying? If he targets him and sends somebody after him, you know. So that's the bodyguard that I was talking about the other day. I was just wondering who it was. So now we know. So yeah. I want to see that. Let me see if he's saying anything different right here.
You ever notice that you always see this gentleman in a towel, shirtless, in his underpants all the time? Why you always half naked in the middle of the day?
Yeah. We live in a dark world, and the most powerful people in our current world serve demonic entities.
You got a guy named the Punisher in here with you and your wife. You're concealing your identity.
Diddy just got caught, right? He got himself, probably got reckless. There's so many people like him that are famous.
Yeah.
That have money, that have power. Maybe not even famous. They just have money and power, and this is a culture issue.
And, there's a video of him saying that he's a savage. And he's screaming this, and he's saying that whatever he wants, he's gonna get.
With because of the territory being a bodyguard is that you have a lot of insider information.
Yeah.
And when you have a lot of insider information, you're held liable for what.
Do you think he's capable and in fact has caused people to be killed?
Yes.
Multiple times?
I grew up in the 90s. And let me tell you, listen, and anybody who grew up in the 90s that was in the hip hop era knows about Diddy.
Yeah.
And Diddy, you know what I'm saying? He's a boogeyman in a bad way. God will meet you where you're at, man. Is ready to redeem, to change hearts, change people, to fill with hope, baptize them.
You definitely need to do it. Something wrong with that dude, y'all. For real. That's crazy. Let's see what Suge said. Did. Okay, let's see. Suge Knight interview. Hold on. Let's see if we can find out. Afeni, right? Let's see if I can pull it up. Mess. That's the first time I think I have played the bodyguard. I might have played him before. I don't recall, but damn, it's. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but the damn show sound convincing. All right, let me see if this is it right here.
Tupac's own mother told doctors to let him die. Suge Knight just gave a wild new account of Tupac's final moments in the hospital. Suge, who was in the car with Pac during the shooting, says they were actually cracking jokes in the ambulance on the way there. But at the hospital, after doctors performed multiple operations to stop the internal bleeding, things took a turn. Suge claims that after doctors revived him, Tupac pleaded with his mother, Afeni Shakur, to let him go. He alleges that Afeni then turned to the doctors and said, "Ever do that again. If he's having complications, don't touch him. Don't bring him back. Let him go." This story surfaces as Dwayne Keffi D. Davis is finally heading to trial for the murder. But Suge dropped another bombshell. He claims Pac told him he never wanted to be cremated and had specific plans for his funeral, where he wanted every rapper to kiss him from head to toe.
What?
The story just keeps getting wilder.
Okay.
Tupac's
I don't know if I believe all this right here, you guys. It sounds very strange. I did hear that he was awake at the hospital. Okay, but I don't know about all this stuff where he was on the top. I don't believe that part with that right there. Goodness, come on now. I don't believe that. And he probably he might have been there. But, you know, they did say they revived him at the hospital. A lot of people, I'm not either. Shit. So, like I said, I don't know. Let me see what else they got here. That's crazy, man. Hold on. Let's see what else they got. Sure. So, I want to part where he gave because that's the part I was talking about yesterday. And we talked about as a shield. We need to.
So Suge Knight is now claiming that Tupac Shakur's mother helped him end his own life. Now, Suge Knight is serving a 28-year sentence for a hit and run, but he's still doing interviews. And in this one in particular, he made this bombshell claim. We all know the story about Tupac. Well, he was taken to the hospital, and Suge said, when I came to see him, Pac was sitting up talking. He allegedly said, well, look, I actually can't read all that. You guys are going to have to read that yourself. Suge says at a certain point during this conversation, everything shifts. I actually can't read.
To see him sitting up talking, he allegedly said, well, look, bring me a blunt. Matter of fact, bring me 2 blunts. And I said, you're going to smoke in the hospital? He allegedly said, okay.
All that. You guys are going to have to read that yourself. Suge says at a certain point during this conversation.
Okay, let's see.
Say everything shifted. You read some of the stuff that he was saying above, which I feel like he can't verbalize that.
At a certain point, Knight says the tone shifted. The weight of everything hit Shakur at once. The shooting, the beatdown at the MGM, the threat of prison. He said, KILL me, shoot me, or not serious as ever. He floated the idea of recording a will and feared prison more than being unalive. He said, that's what he allegedly said. And then he used this word, wasn't an option. Knight says Shakur believed it would keep him from going to heaven. So he looked to someone else, the person who could make that kind of whatever. Oh man, wait, hold on.
So Suge Knight is now claiming that Tupac Shakur's mother helped him answer this bombshell claim. We all know
We're gonna go to the next.
Suge says at a certain point during this conversation, everything shifted for Tupac. You can read some of the stuff that he was saying above, which I feel like I can't verbalize that well on TikTok. But he's floating the idea of doing a farewell track, if you know what I mean.
The audio is breaking up.
Before I go back. But he said at the same time, he believed that he wouldn't be able to go to heaven. So he was looking for someone else to help him. As he was slipping in and out of consciousness, apparently he made a desperate plea to his mother.
Is the audio still breaking up? This is the part where what she said gave him pills. That's what Knight claims in an attempt to honor his wishes. Okay. Now, People magazine went out to try to contact Shakur's sister or stepbrother for a comment. Is it still breaking up now? Is it still breaking up? What about when the lady is talking? Is it breaking up when she talks? Because this is why I'm playing this video, is because it does that. All right. So I'm gonna let her go ahead and when she talks, is it breaking up?
Said Tupac's mother giving him pills, and at one point Tupac started hemorrhaging. The doctors came in and brought him back, and Tupac's mom said, don't ever do that again. That's not what he wanted. And then she ultimately made the decision to let him go off of a medically induced coma. So Suge Knight is now claiming that Tupac.
Let me stop that right there. So that's basically the story. Can y'all hear me pretty good now? Can y'all hear me good now? It's because this internet thing is going up and down. It said connection is unstable. If you are on Wi-Fi, try plugging it into your router or move closer to it. So is it breaking up now when I'm speaking? Is it breaking up now? Is it breaking up now when I'm speaking? This damn choppy ass damn internet. Oh, this is Spectrum, y'all. Spectrum. Okay. So Tupac, not Tupac. So what's the name? Suge Knight is saying allegedly that Afeni assisted Pac in ending his own life. All right. And then once he started hemorrhaging and things like that, she told the doctors not to bring him back. Okay. Now let me tell y'all something. Anytime when I'm sharing videos like that and you talk while the video is playing, my voice is going to be choppy. I don't know why it does that. That's why a lot of times when I play videos, I don't talk, because it does it every time. Hold on, let me get my back thing. But anyway, that is a hot ass mess. I don't know if I believe Suge all the way, but I do believe some of the stuff. And the thing about it, just say, let's ask this question. Why would Suge Knight be lying? You know, just to get these interviews? I mean, I don't understand why he would be lying. And then also you have to say this too. You have to ask this question. Why did he wait so long to talk? Maybe because he's in prison for 28 years and he does not have anything to lose. So he might as well tell certain things. He's not going to tell everything. Like, for example, he's not going to tell us who actually, thank you, Arpaio. He's not going to tell us who actually unalived, Pac, because we know good and damn well he saw the shooter. You know what I'm saying? You say, what else does he have to do? Nothing, But do y'all think there's some truth to this stuff? To some of these things that he's saying? Because I do feel like he may be saying some truth to some of this stuff. I actually believe they probably did smoke some of his ashes. Because I'm going to tell you, people be doing weird stuff. Some of these rappers and stuff, they be doing weird stuff, man. I mean, he didn't say they smoked all of his ashes. They said they smoked a portion. He said he did not hit it because he was on probation. So, I mean, if he was lying, he wouldn't have to include, he really wouldn't have to include that, because he could have just said, he just watched them do it. Why include I was on probation and all this stuff if he's lying? So I don't know. You said I don't know why he would lie, but I also don't know why he would run over somebody with a car. Yeah, that's true. We don't know. And then people do say he lies a lot, but I don't know for sure, because, sometimes people mix in lies with the truth. All right. And then the part, what else? Do y'all believe that Tupac actually was awake inside of that EMS laughing and cracking jokes? You say as long as he got something to say, he will get a visitor. That's true, Payo. Okay, so do y'all believe Tupac was up after he got shot and he was cracking jokes? I thought when they said that they came out there to get him, he was unconscious. I don't know for sure, because this happened so long ago and I don't remember, and I don't want to be pulling up the old footage and all that type of stuff, But I mean, we don't know for sure. He could have been up in there laughing and stuff, It's weird. And then he said when he was revived, that's when he was he was trying to get Suge to unalive him. Suge wouldn't do it. I think that's what he said, or somebody to unalive him. I can't remember. And then he asked his mom. He talked to his mom. So you said he's lonely in jail if he's single. Even if he ain't single, he's still going to be lonely in jail. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine being in prison and then you have to be there for 28 years? This is your home. It's probably his final home, because he's already, 60 years old? And how many more years he has to go? At least 20, right? Because I forgot when he went. And so, shit, he'll be like damn 80. What is he, 60? He'll be 80 something when he get out. His life is over. Shit, so he might as well just tell everything. But he's not telling us what we want to know. We want to know, forget all this other bull crap. We want to know, Suge Knight, who unalived Tupac, because we know you saw it. Dude, we know you saw that. So tell us, because, I mean, what could possibly happen now? All of the other people are not even alive, He might as well tell, you know what I'm saying? At least give us some clues, I mean, the bodyguard is already telling us, that Diddy allegedly has something to do with it. So is that true? Keefy D said the same thing. So is that true? You know, we want to know. I mean, what they're gonna wait until he'll probably tell us when he get 80. Okay, he'll probably tell us who did it. Though everybody will be gone, passed on. It won't even matter. That's what they do. They wait till everybody passes on or be old as heck on their you know what bed, and that's when they start telling the truth. Just like with this Diddy stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, y'all. It was another video. Let me go to this video real quick and see if I can pull it back up. Now it's going to start doing the breaking up, so I'm going to stop talking. Hold on.
When Pac died, if he really did, you know.
If he really died. What do you mean by that?
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say that with Pac, you never know.
Oh, there you go.
When Pac died, if he really did, you know.
If he really died.
Okay, we're going to stop this right here. All right. So we just done call him in a little lie, right? I know. Listen, we just call him in a lie, okay? Let's keep it real. Now, in this video back in 2023, he said that if Pac is really unalive, right? But then in the daggone video, the interview he just did the other week or the other day, he said that Pac is not alive anymore. He said that Pac asked him and then his mom to assist him because he did not want to go back to prison. He was more scared of prison than he was being unalive. He didn't want to do the S word because if he committed the S word himself, the X, you know, he didn't want to commit the S thing because then he know he would not be going to heaven. And so therefore he asked his mom to help him. Okay. So, and then he said that he started hemorrhaging and he passed on. His mom told the medical staff don't do anything else for him if he, you know, gets into that situation right there. So how is he saying now Pac is unalive, but back in 2023, he told a different story. Now, in 2023, and now he did say that he was cracking jokes, but a couple of days ago, a week ago, whenever he did this latest interview, he said that they was in the EMS laughing and cracking jokes. In this 2023 interview, this dude said Pac was laughing and they were cracking jokes at the hospital. So we just call him with some lies right there. So now I'm beginning not to believe him basically at all because these are two different stories. You see what I'm saying? And then Snoop Dogg gave a whole different story, right? Either way, Tupac had mad problems right before he passed on. He sure did. He had some problems. Okay. So what was the story that Snoop Dogg gave, Jermaine? Let's see if we can pull that up real quick. What did Snoop Dogg say about? Let's see. Let's see what Pac said. I mean, not Pac. I mean, what's his name? Snoop Dogg said. So let's see. I hope they're not playing on damn music. Let's see y'all.
Right after I heard Tupac got shot, and I was so.
We cannot play you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Can continue on with Snoop Dogg laying out the plot. He's speaking on Lil C's Jr., how he was trying to get close to Biggie. And Keefy D was working with Puffy them to get at Pac. So if they would have had their way, in which they did, everybody got eliminated. It was like cleaning off the board. They cleaned the table so they could sit at it. they had people in their way. Snoop definitely had Pac in his way. Because when Pac was alive, he was the king of the West Coast, whether you like it or not. Now Snoop is the undefeated, unrefuted king of the West Coast. And Jay-Z, it's no way he would have been able to climb over Biggie and be a bigger star. He would have been in Biggie's shadow for like 20 years. That wouldn't have been no good. So they made it to the top. The kings of the hill. But people had to fall in order for them to have that spot. If Keefy D wanted to connect some dots and run his mouth, we all Crips, man. Westside Crips at that. I know Snoop. Snoop is what my homie said. And my homie, he called me and asked me to do blase blah for Snoop.
What was your relationship like with Big?
Biggie was my homeboy, you know, and I mean, he was a real friend of mine. Like, I remember early on, you know, when we used to come out here, he used to hang out with us. They used to ride in limos with us. We used to go smoke, chill, the whole nine. When he made that record, the last record he made, he played a song for me. I went to the studio with him, and he was like, I want you to hear this song. He was working with 10 Crack Commandments in this room with Preem. He took me to another room, and he played this song. I'm dreaming of little jets and mansions and coupes and trying to sell records like Snoop. Oops. He played that record for me in front of all his homeboys. When the record went off, I was like, cuz, you killed that. He's like, I just want to give you some love, man, and let you hear this. But his perspective, you could just tell that he wasn't tripping. He wanted the world to know, I love Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg loves me. Because I had already put it on the line that I loved him. But he could never come back and say, I love Snoop, because he had to stay in his lane because Pac was on him so tough. You know what I'm saying? So when he expressed that on that song, that let me know that our friendship was going to always be there no matter what. And I seen him.
Oh, that sounds so nice and sweet and cuddly. That sounds like they had a friendship that will last forever. Unless they both had an agenda. And I believe that agenda was Pac gotta go. And however that played out afterward, they would have been cool with that. You got West Coast rappers sticking up East Coast. It was just a bunch of madness going on at once. So of course, he got to try to patch this thing over to keep it, make it seem like everything was cool when it wasn't. But they do shit like this just to keep their homies out of jail. Like Keefy D. He waited until everybody was dead, told the people what they want to hear, and figured, what the hell? I might as well make some money off of it in the process. It probably didn't even go down like that night when Tupac died, for all we know. They just wanted something to feed the public. Listen to this.
Come back and say, I love Snoop, because he had to stay in his lane because Pac was on him so tough. You know what I'm saying? So when he expressed that on that song, that let me know that our friendship was going to always be there no matter what. And I seen him again when he had got his legs. I guess he got in a car accident or something.
Yeah.
I seen him in Atlanta. This is right after Pac got killed. And he was in the hotel. And I seen C's. I'm like, where he at, cuz? He's like, he upstairs. I'm like, let me holler at him. He's like, hold on. Because, you know, they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, they was, checking the temperature. So I went up there with him. We kicked it for about an hour strong. And he was like, man, I love Pac, man. I don't know why. So we just was having that intimate conversation about how he never hated Tupac.
Yeah.
How he loved Tupac. But this is just me and him in a private room, smoking, chopping up game. He had his little walker with him. We chopped it up for about an hour. I rolled out. And that was the last time I seen him.
And he said he kicked it with Biggie for a whole hour, smoking weed, gossiping, chatty patty about Tupac. And that's supposed to be your man's California love. You done heard all that shit he said about Biggie, hit him up. Pac did like 2 albums going in on Biggie. So Snoop had to know that Pac didn't like him. But he just ain't give a damn. And I believe the reason why he ain't give a damn is because he was sick of Tupac and his shit. He invited him to his house. Snoop Dogg came in his house and took over his house. Then got the nerve to tell him what he need to be doing. Listen at this.
Me and him in a private room, smoking, chopping up game. He had his little walker Woody. We chopped it up for about an hour. I rolled out, and that was the last time I seen him.
Wow. You know, ironically enough, Pac introduced me to Biggie.
Oh, wow.
That's how I first met Biggie, at the Palladium here in New York.
Are you serious?
I swear. Pac said, "Swear, I want you to meet this dude. He's dope, blah, blah, blah." And they got on stage and performed together. And I always wondered how much of that beef was real, or was it?
I think it was real because Biggie probably couldn't tell him what he wanted to hear. Pac was the kind of person that's like, he all in. He with you, he with you. So in so many words, if Biggie knew, or if somebody from Biggie's camp knew Pac had got shot, or who shot him, or who robbed him, Pac felt, tell me that. And when they didn't tell him that, even if they did or didn't know, that just turned it all bad. Because where we come from, if you know I'm finna get shot, robbed, or jacked, and you don't say nothing, you're a part of it. So that was his emotions. But me personally, I knew C's and Puffy and Biggie and all them. I don't think they set him up. I think it was some situations that caused that, and they couldn't prevent that.
Man, whose side of the story you taking? Who you with? And he worried about if they set up Biggie or not, or whatever. If he the target, he the damn target. That Snoop know that, man. I can continue on.
That's crazy. How they did this dude, y'all. It's crazy. You said Pac was a New Yorker. This is crazy though. It is crazy. And it's so many different stories and so many different things, and people got all their conclusions to what happened. And I don't honestly think we will ever know what really. We know that the fight and all that went down because they got video, footage of that. We know that, but we will never know. I don't think we would never know anytime soon exactly what happened, for real, and who was responsible. Like I said, if Suge ever tell, it's probably going to be when he's old as ever for real, or on his bed, then he may tell, because I'm pretty sure he saw who the shooter was. He said he did. He's not telling. He said he wasn't a snitch. People trips me out when they said they are not a snitch, but yet they snitch and stuff. They be talking. So I was still trying to look for Pac talking about what happened. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and then we're going to move on. Let's see. Let's see if I can find that. So this is it right here. Let's see what he said.
Right after I heard Tupac got shot, I immediately flew to Vegas.
I do this one because I don't know why these people play music.
Right after I heard Tupac got shot, I immediately flew to Vegas, and I walked in the room and I seen him laid out on the bed, and I was so weak I damn near fell over. And his mom came over to me, and she grabbed me, and she held me up, and she said, "Baby, you got to be strong." And I went and sat next to him, and I was whispering to him, telling him I loved him, and to hold on, he was gonna be okay. And even in that moment, his mom was thinking more about me than herself and showing me how to love strong. Right after I heard Tupac got shot, I immediately flew to Vegas, and I walked in the room and I out on the bed.
I'm gonna stop this. I don't know. I mean, like I said before, I don't know who to believe, because it's just you just don't know who to believe. I mean, for real. It could have happened. It could be like, so many different versions of this. It's plainly ridiculous. But if Suge is lying, what is the purpose of lying like this? And if Snoop is lying, we know what the purpose would be for him. But why would anybody lie and say he was alive, up laughing and all this stuff, then another person he was lying on the bed and he wasn't alive? I mean, he was alive, but he was not, unconscious or whatever, So why is it like two different stories like this? And what really happened in that hospital? So what do y'all think about all this? What do y'all think? And do you believe that they smoke is part of his ashes. Put it in a blunt. I kind of believe that one right there, though. I'm not gonna lie. I believe that because a lot of people, I just believe that. I believe that because I have heard of other people doing stuff like that, movie or something like that. But yeah, I've seen that. Now, somebody in the comments section said putting someone's ashes in a blunt or smoking it or whatever the case is, that is a part of some type of Buddhism. So let me look that up and see real quick what that means. Okay, let's see what that means because I want to know. Thank you, Jermaine. Oh my God, you changed already. Wait. Oh, let me hope y'all, I was sitting up here scratching my damn hair with my little thing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, let me do this real quick. Okay, let's see if that's some sort of weirdness that, that went on with that, if they actually did that. They got some more Fat Joe information. I guess we'll be covering him a lot too, because y'all know he is getting sued. Okay, we talked about him already. Let's see. Hold on, let me go ahead and see. Let's see if this is some type of weirdness going on here. Hold on, y'all. Let me take this off. Let's close all these out. Let's do this. We're going to look that up. So some people said it's harmful too. Let's see. No, we're talking about smoking ashes from cremation. Hold on, let me put it up here right. Let me just type it the right way. I told you a lot of people did this weird stuff. Listen to this. Somebody said his uncle smoked his dad's ashes, and then his son snorted the rest. Oh, that's crazy, man. And people in the comment section was saying if you smoke somebody's ashes, when they are cremated, that you can get sick or you can catch cancer. Well, anyway, they said after cremation, there are no public health risks associated with handling the ashes or smoking them. They said cremation is so hot that all microorganisms are destroyed. Okay? And they are not considered harmful. Everything has been destroyed, even DNA, everything. They're just ashes. So a lot of people actually be smoking that. That's weird, man. But I told you guys that I heard of people doing that. Now, they claim that DNA will be gone. But in another article, somebody asked this, can you get DNA out of cremated ashes? And they say yes. They can get DNA even after they have been cremated. So they said that the immense heat of the cremation ovens break down the body's organic matter, leaving bone fragments and teeth behind as they don't disintegrate during the cremation process. So I guess they can get it from the teeth and bone fragments, okay? So let's see. So some people believe that human ashes hold energy. They said no, ashes do not hold energy in the same way that a living body does. So it does hold energy, but not in the same way that a living body does. So that's weird. Okay, so people be smoking this. So I guess, I mean, nothing would happen. And it takes 2 to 3 hours to cremate somebody, just so y'all can know. Whew. So let's see what else. Let me see if they use that in let me see. Is smoking ash from cremation used? And let me see, let me ask them this. Because people was talking about it in that chat. Let's come to see this. Let's see. Okay, let's see in any religion. Let's see if it's in any religion. Let's see, they got all this other stuff up here. Let me see. And I didn't see nothing about no Buddhism. Let's see. Let me put it another way. Let's see if it's in this. Let's see. So you can use those in those rituals and spell work, the ashes, okay, from cremation. But they said there is no indication that smoking human remains is a common practice within the wider witchcraft community. So the way they use it in that is in divination or divination, however they say that, spell work. You can mix it with black salt for protection or using them in a ritual to mark completion. You can use them, you can sprinkle these ashes in symbolic ways or even mix it with soil to plant a memorial tree. And then some believe ashes are considered to hold spiritual energy or a connection to the departed, which offers them comfort. Okay, so it is what it is. So that's why I always like to research stuff, because people say stuff in the comments section, it just be plain and ridiculous. They said some people do use them in witchcraft, but it's not a known common practice. Okay, and they also said that it is not harmful to smoke it. It's just like basically you're just smoking ashes. Okay, and it does not cause you to have cancer or anything else. But a lot, and I wouldn't say a lot, but some people do smoke the ashes of their cremated friend or loved one. This is weird, but they do. That's very weird. Thank you, Jermaine. All right. That's crazy, man. But I'm not smoking nobody's damn ashes. I'm sorry. I don't smoke anyway, but I'm certainly not going to be smoking nobody's ashes. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? So, now, can y'all still believe what Suge said? I mean, it could be possible, like I said before, but now, like I said, Snoop said a totally different story about Pac in the hospital, and then Suge said a whole different story. So I don't know which one is telling the truth and which one is lying. All right, but it may be a combination, guys. Okay. Know what, Jermaine? Paul said you can't trust Snoop Dogg. You can't trust Snoop Doggy Dogg mouth when it moves. They claim that he's a big liar, so it is what it is. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so anyway, that's it with Tupac discussion. Okay, I just want to let you guys know what what Suge Knight said. All right, and I don't know if you guys believe him or not. I'm pretty sure he's going to be speaking out some more, revealing some more information, and I'll definitely let you guys know what he says. All right, so now we're going to move on to Diddy stuff. All right, Diddy. Let me take this off real quick. Okay, so anyway, Diddy. A couple things about Diddy that I do have tonight. How long we been on here for? An hour, 15 minutes. It's 1:28. Let me hurry up. So listen, y'all. Diddy's lawyer says Diddy is a changed man now. Okay, so he changed up. All right, so he's changed. So let's see here. So of course his bail was rejected. All right. And his lawyer said Diddy is a changed man, but he did let I told y'all he probably told Diddy on Wednesday that his hopes for freedom are slim. Okay. Even after the jury acquitted him on racketeering, conspiracy, and ex-trafficking charges, which could have put him in prison for life. I told y'all his attorney probably let him know that before he even got the word back on his bail, because you can pretty much tell that Judge Aaron Submaranian was going to say no, to Diddy's request, so he probably wasn't shocked. He shouldn't have been shocked. Anyway, Judge Aaron's words signal how he may approach sentencing Combs for his conviction on 2 lesser P-related charges, which each carry a maximum punishment of 10 years in prison. The judge, citing a now infamous video of Combs beating a former girlfriend and photographs showing injuries to another ex-girlfriend, made clear that he plans to hold Combs accountable for the years of violence and bullying behavior that were exposed at his 8-week trial. So anyway, Combs' punishment is Judge Aaron's decision alone, and the judge will have wide latitude in determining a sentence. Now, while the judges often adhere to the federal judiciary's formulaic guidelines meant to prevent disparity in sentences for the same crimes, they are not mandatory. All right. Combs' lawyers want less than 21 to 27 months in prison that they believe the sentencing guidelines recommend. Prosecutors contend that the guidelines, when properly calculated to include Combs' crimes and violent history, call for at least 4 to 5 years in prison. So people who are saying 3 years, he'll get time served. If he get 4 years, he will get 3 years, because he already got a year of time served. If he gets 5 years in prison, then he'll get 4 years for time served, but he will be sentenced to at least 4 to 5 years. But Judge Submaranian can do more years until he can go all the way up into what the maximum sentence is. All right. Now, after tentatively setting Combs' sentencing for October, the judge said he is open to a defense request that it happen as soon as possible, with further discussions expected at a conference Tuesday. And of course, I'm going to be here letting you guys know what happened. So anyway, the judge used Combs' violent past, and that's why he's locked up for now. All right. So let's see here. So Attorney Submaranian, Judge Submaranian said, he read this from Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnafilo, in his closing arguments to the jury last week. He said, "We own the domestic violence. We own it. If he was charged with domestic violence, we would not all be having a trial because he would have pled guilty because he did that." Now, the judge noted that the jury has seen a video of Combs viciously attacking then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a LA hotel in 2016 March. He also noted that another former girlfriend, Jane Doe, was left with visible evidence of bruises and injuries after Combs hit her repeatedly in June 2024. That was a few months after federal agents raided 2 of his homes, and when he should have known that he needed to stay clean. So that's why he did not let him out, because he was still doing stuff, allegedly, even after the feds was raiding his homes, which is very stupid. Okay, then the judge said that the beating, which Jane said happened before Combs forced her to have an actual encounter with a male, worker, was part of the P-related offenses violation of the Federal Mann Act that resulted in a conviction. So he said this highlights a disregard for the rule of law in the propensity for violence, he said. So Combs' lawyer claims that Combs is working on himself. All right. And so his obviously Agnifilo was trying to get him released, but the judge wasn't buying it. And so he said no and denied Combs' request for bail. And let's see. So Jane, get this, y'all. Jane, she did exactly what I said they should do. She wrote a supportive note to get Combs into a domestic violence intervention program. At sentencing, he said the defense plans to have someone from the program to tell the judge how Combs did. He is a man who's in the process of working on himself. He's been a model prisoner. Okay. And then Agnifilo said Combs had been given his life back by the jury and would be nothing short of a fool to do anything to spoil that. Now, the prospect of a life sentence, the maximum if Combs was convicted of racketeering or ex trafficking, prompt all sorts of the darkest conversations one can imagine about what your life could have been and what your life became. That's what Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said. But of course, Judge Aaron Submaranian was not moved by what Agnifilo called his heartstrings argument. So Combs allegedly beating Jane after his home was raided, the judge wasn't playing around with him, okay? Because, he still was doing stuff even after his home was raided. So he basically, just didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he denied that bail, all right? So you got, if you know, listen, y'all. If you know the feds is watching you, or the police, or any damn body for that matter who can, put you away, you don't go out here and do weird shit like abusing someone, continue to having freak offs. You can have a freak off, but you don't need to be, making people do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing all these drugs either. Come on, y'all. You can't be doing none of this weird stuff. You got to do everything legal. Have your little orgies and, drink a little beer, but don't be forcing nobody. Don't be doing weird shit. And certainly don't be doing no domestic violence or anything related to that. Your homes just got raided. So that's the reason Judge Submaranian, that's the reason why he denied it, because he still has a tendency to engage in violent behavior, point blank. So anyway, Agnifilo did indicate the defense will argue at sentencing that Combs' violent acts are not part of the charges for which he was convicted and should not factor into his punishment. The thing is, I was telling Jermaine that's crazy, and I believe that's what they're doing. Okay. Combs is not on trial for domestic violence, okay? He's not in trouble for domestic violence. He is in trouble for ex-trafficking. Not ex-trafficking. He's in trouble for transportation. What's that called? I forgot what it's called, transportation for the purpose of the P word. That's what it is, I think. Okay. He is in trouble for that. So why, I'm with the defense attorney. Why are they using his violence with Cassie in that video to, give him, to make him, why are they using that to determine if he should be on bail or how much sentencing, how many years he should get in prison? Okay. Now, one would say the reason why they are using that is because they're not technically using it like that, but what they're doing is using it. They're using it somewhat, but they're just basically using it because it pretty much paints a picture of this guy's behavior. Okay, and it shows a pattern of abuse. So they're using it like that, but they're not using it as far as trying to convict him or trying to make him pay for that, with the punishment they're giving him, if y'all understand what I'm saying. He definitely did got locked up with some weed, a woman, and some baby oil at the time of arrest. He sure did. And the pink stuff too, whatever that is. He got locked up with that. He was about to have another freak off. So he was still engaging in foolishness. That's crazy. See, they not only need to send him to domestic violence, that right there, but they also need to send him to some type of X type program because something is wrong with him. He sounds so perverted. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know. It's like he got some type of addiction or something like that to that type of stuff. So maybe he needs to go see someone about that as well. In anger management, they should make him take all of those classes. So if his defense attorney does an appeal, maybe his defense attorney can say, we are going to, require him to, take domestic violence while he's on bail and take another more classes on the actual stuff, because he's just be doing too much with that, and then anger management. So maybe they should incorporate that in there, and maybe when they do an appeal, if Agnifilo does an appeal, maybe they will grant him a bail. I don't know. So anyway, the prosecutors want the violence factored into the sentence. And, honestly, even if Judge Submaranian says that he's not, deep down inside, he probably will. Okay, let's keep it real. Excuse me, y'all. I think it's very hard for them to overlook that video of him beating the crap out of Cassie. Right. Right. I forgot about that. The DRUG. He needs to go there. And right. This is what I was looking for. X edition. He definitely needs to go to some type of classes for that, along with domestic violence and anger management. His attorney should require all of that to the appeal people, the appellate court, I guess, to let them know that Sean Diddy Combs will attend, the D and S, classes, along with domestic violence, along with anger management, and whatever else he needs to take, for real. Because when you show them that you're trying to change by taking classes and stuff like that, they may be willing to give him a bill. And also do this. They can also say he does not have to go to no Miami, no California. He just needs to stay in New York. Okay, no going anywhere. Take his computers. He can watch TV, but no computers, no internet, no social media. Take all that away. Okay, all of that should be taken away. Every single thing. His phone calls can be monitored. No cell. Well, he has to have a cell phone, but phone calls need to be monitored. What else? And doing those required classes. The only time you can leave the house is when you go to those required classes, or the hospital, or the court stuff, something like that. They should make it very tough like that. And then they may do the bail, because even though he would be out, it's almost still like he's incarcerated. He's just in his little home. They can make it really tough for him, on bail. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why they won't do that, because they have let out people who have done some crazy ass crimes. All right, they are out and be at home doing the most. You said I was glad they held him longer, because if Diddy go back to his mansion, there's liquor up in it, and Diddy needs some bar. He needs to go to that too. Yeah, he needs to do that too. He needs to go to that too, Alcoholic Anonymous, if he drinks a lot. He needs to do all that. Because he be doing that pink stuff, the Obama pills, shaped like him. Just all this weird stuff. I guess that's the ketamine, and then the other stuff he be taking, the S stuff. And then I don't know what else. It's a lot of different stuff. The pink stuff. It's just a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But see, what Diddy needs to realize though, if he only gets if he only gets like 3 to 4 years, okay, it would technically be 4 to 5 years, but you take the year off. Okay, so if he gets that, he needs to do that time right. When his ass gets out, he does not need to repeat none of this foolishness that he's been doing. All right. No more freak offs, okay? No more calling up male escorts and shit and forcing women to do certain things, or encouraging them to do certain things, by telling them that you're not going to pay their rent anymore, you're not going to get them the money and things like that. He don't need to be doing any of that. Actually, he needs to do what they claim, a source claim he said he was going to do. If he's found innocent, he's going to leave and go to a different country. But the thing that Diddy needs to know, though, if you go to another country, you can't be doing that shit, because over there in certain countries, like in Africa, countries of Africa, you're going to get yourself on the line for real. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't be playing all that foolishness from some foreigner coming over here doing all this weird stuff. They'll take his money and still get rid of him. He don't need to have no freak offs. He doesn't need to do anything. No visitors. I'm telling you, they should make it very, listen, Attorney Mark Agnifilo should make it very strict. No visitors except his kids, supervised, all right, at his expense. The taxpayers don't need to pay it, or nobody else, but at his expense. He has to pay for all of this stuff. And you cannot hire people that because the courts or his lawyer can go out there and hire security and things like that to monitor him, to watch him, because he can't hire anybody, because he can get some people that he know or that will, do favors for him. So Agnifilo needs to put together a package if he does an appeal, and he needs to tell them that my client is going to go to all of these classes, anger management, what else? Domestic violence classes, the DD classes, DRUG classes, Alcoholic Anonymous, because I don't know if he'd be drinking that, but I'm just saying, the X edition, and whatever else he needs to take. All of those classes, plus they need to take away, say no computer, okay, no laptop computers or anything. And he better not go on the computer, on the web, on his phone, because that should be monitored. Matter of fact, he can't use that phone. They need to give him a phone to use that does not go to the internet. Like one of those little track phones, that dial-up one, the old ones with the push button on it. They should give him a phone like that so he can't go on the internet. Okay? No internet, because listen, you are still in custody. You're just out on bail at home. So they don't have to make it easy, for him. They can just do stuff, that to make it very hard. Like, for example, he does not need to go to Miami. He does not need to go to California. Stay right there in New York. That's it. You can't even leave your home unless you have a doctor's appointment. You need to come to the probation office or something, or you got to go to your classes. And only people who can visit him is his relatives, like his mom, his kids, and if he has any siblings. That's it. And only a certain amount of them can come at a time. and they should be checked before they get there. I bet you, if his lawyer recommend to the appellate court, I guess that's who they go to, and said all of these things, they may consider letting him out on bail. Because one primary reason they won't let him out on bail is because he has a violent tendency. All right. But if you take away the elements that helps him to be like that, then there you go. All right. No friends over, none of that shit. Because you are still incarcerated. You're just at home, you know, and I just think they should do something like that. So anyway, he did say, Agnifilo did say that he would argue at sentencing that Combs' violent acts are not part of the charges for which he was convicted and should not factor into his punishment. Now, Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey made it clear that prosecutors will argue the opposite. She said Combs is an extremely violent man. He has a dangerous temper. That's why he needs anger management. Okay. He has shown no remorse and no regret for his violence against multiple victims. Okay. So if he's a very violent man, okay, let me just ask this very, very, very honest question for real. If he's a very violent man, how is prison going to make him any less violent? If anything, it's going to make him even more violent. It doesn't even make any sense. All right. How? As a matter of fact, they got here, he has not shown any remorse and no regret for his violence. How is prison going to make him show remorse and regret? Yeah, for a minute because he's incarcerated, but deep down inside, shit. All right. He said, stay in New York City. All Diddy want to do is go to Coney Island and walk the Brooklyn Bridge and sit down in his house in Harlem. He apologized to Cassie after he got caught in a lie the day before. What was the lie he got caught? When he said that he did not never, when he said he never hit Cassie, is that the lie he told? So Cassie wrote a letter, like I told y'all the other day. Deontay Nash wrote one. And then Jane Doe wrote one saying that he needs to go to domestic violence. And she was telling the truth, but she put that in there. Okay, because something ain't right with this dude. Oh, wow, just lying. But you know what? He's not the only man be lying like that. See, some of the same men and women who sit right on social media, at home, or wherever they're at, some people on TV, some other actors, actresses, and all of these people will sit up here and say Diddy is wrong for beating Cassie, but they have hit a woman or a man. All right. So, you know, I find that very crazy for people to be tripping out about that when they do the same thing. All right. So let's see here. So they claim that, no, Cassie said that Diddy was likely to pose a danger to the victims who testified in this case, including herself, as well as to the community. Cassie's lawyer, Douglas Rigdor, wrote. The thing about it, if he's a danger to them, okay, if he's going to be a danger to them when he's out, why isn't he a danger to them, period? Because you don't have to be out of prison to get things done. So, I mean, and then what about when he get out of prison for real? It could be 10 years later. He can still be a danger. All right. As a matter of fact, most people, when they try to get you back, they're not going to get you back right now. All right. They're going to wait till 10 years down the line when everybody forget everything. That's when they're going to do it. And then they're going to do stuff that nobody can trace and know that they can prove that he had a hand in it. Okay. So I don't think Diddy is stupid like that. Okay. I just don't. I don't think he's going to do a damn thing. He could have been did something to Cassie. She's been, allegedly, she's been, you know, saying she's going to release stuff, a book or whatever the case is. He claimed that she was asking for money before. I don't know how true this is, So I don't think he's going to do anything to her. Like I said, even if he did, it would probably happen years later because he does not want to end back up in prison. Why would you do anything to somebody now when you know everybody's watching? That's stupid. He probably is scared, but again, why would Diddy have anything done to Alex or Cassie or anybody when they are watching him? If anything, he would do this years later. And honestly, he really don't have to do anything because one thing he can do is stop paying Jane Doe's rent and she's going to be up out that house. All right. And he can stop giving anybody else money since everybody wanted to turn their head, do what they did. Just stop giving people money and stuff. Because trust me, you don't have to do anything else but just stop that money. Once you stop that money, hey, they will start tumbling right down, especially some of these women who, like I said, Jane Doe, how the hell is somebody paying your rent and you up here talking? $10,000 a month. That's crazy. And why was he still paying that? Okay. Why was he still paying that? That's weird. Very strange. Very strange. In that picture right there, they got my arms looking like men arms. See, this is why I don't work out like that. Because damn, I don't like the way that look right there. It almost look like men arms. Somebody just realized that. I was just looking at all that working out, looking manly. You know what I'm saying? You say Cassie don't have a voice. She doing what the white boys say now. You know she is. And the thing about it though, he knows everything anyway because he was hired when Cassie and Diddy were dating. Okay, so it's not like he don't know what was going on. Shit. It's crazy. It's very crazy. Jermaine, what you think about all this? Let me see what else we got on this. So Judge Submaranian can actually sentence him all the way up to the maximum amount if he chooses to. So Diddy better definitely be cool, his best behavior. And attorney Agnafilo need to say that Diddy will be, he can take these classes probably in jail too. He need to say that and get that done. Right. Like when they went on that little, she had that little date with him at the restaurant where she was like, it's a closing type date. That's what she called it, something like that. And that's the same day she said that he raped her. But he said that he did not rape her. She did it willingly. And she used the grape thing because her husband. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what, he said. All right. So let's see here. So the comedian Lunel, she finds nothing funny about Diddy's verdict as she calls out the enablers. Let's see what she said in this IG rant. Let's see what she said. She called out the people who allegedly helped Sean Diddy Combs, who was doing everything, like helping with the getting the hotels set up, calling the escorts and things like that. She said, so ladies, we are unalive in the water. People are cheering for this nasty man. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cares about what men do to women. It's sad as F to me. All his enablers and helpers, they just get to skip away scot-free. Hurry, run and get your baby oil and let the freak-offs begin again. Okay. So some fans agreed with her and some didn't. Okay. The thing about it, what everybody needs to remember is this right here. And it doesn't matter if it's Diddy doing it or just a regular person. It's never okay to hit a woman, okay? Unless it's truly self-defense. If you are hitting a woman and abusing her, whether intellectually, emotionally, or physically or verbally, you are no better than Diddy. All right. So you should not be saying anything. Of course, she got to save face. She didn't want to be, what is it? Divorced, if this is true. So then she say, or somebody in the comments section said, I just want to know which did he go to, because this definitely seems like some spell work. Listen, y'all, are y'all slow? It's simple as this. Stop being slow. Okay. In order to prove a RICO, you have to at least get 2 of the elements. All right. They had kidnapping, arson, bribery. I forgot the other ones. Okay. But anyway, the thing is this right here. 2 elements were not proven, only 1. Okay. So therefore it's not a RICO. I mean, you guys can't comprehend that for anything in the world. All right. It's no witchcraft. It's about the law. All right. You cannot just go give somebody a RICO if they don't have any of these elements, at least 2 of them, in order to, convict somebody on a RICO. You guys need to read law, because it says it right there. We went over this piece by piece on this live to find out exactly what a RICO is, what the elements are, and everything. All right. They do not have any concrete evidence that he did any arson, okay, or bribery, or kidnapping, or any other of those elements. They have one. They had one, I believe. I can't remember which one it was, or it is. But the rest of them they just don't have. So that's why he did not get a RICO. Y'all stop. It sure doesn't matter. That's good, Paul, y'all. I hope not, because it's not good to be putting your hands on a woman. If a woman is hitting you, then get your ass away from her. Why are you guys staying with women? I hate when y'all say this. She hit me. Well, okay, well then leave. Okay, because the same energy you take to hit a woman back is the same energy you can take to restrain her ass and pick up that phone and call 911 to have her ass arrested like she would have you arrested. Okay, point blank. See, you guys that say I will hit a woman as soon as she hits you, you be like, oh, well, she hit me, I had to hit her back. Or as soon as she hits you, you'll say, I don't want to call the police on her. But then when she keep on hitting you, and then you finally get fed up, you hit her back, and then the police is called, then your ass go to jail. So, I mean, why even wait for that? Okay, if you ask her politely not to put her hands on you and she does it anyway, this is the moment you need to pick up that phone and have her ass arrested, point blank. Okay, why put yourself in jeopardy and your career in jeopardy over some foolishness, and get rid of her? All right, and the women, you too. You get with a man, he's hitting you. Why are you still there? He clearly doesn't love you. How can you love anybody that you're beating the hell out of? All right, let me tell you something. What we don't want in partners, we do not want disrespectful ass partners, whether it's a man or a woman. We do not want a partner who disrespects us. All right, who call us out of our names, who hit us, who is not respectful, responsible, dedicated, monogamous, faithful, which same thing as monogamous, and dependable and honest. Everybody lies, but some people lie all the daggone time. It's not a good look. And these are the type of people we should not have in our lives. Lazy as hell, whether it's a woman or a man. If a person is not being an asset to you, why do you have them? We don't need deficits. We need assets. Assets help you grow. Deficits get you in some damn mess. All right. And I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So the thing is that we need to look for people who are going to bring help. They're going to bring us positivity. Okay. People who are going to add to us, not take away. All right. People who are going to prevent us from getting headaches, not give us headaches. All right. So we don't need to be putting up with all this stuff, whether you are a man or a woman. And we should never put up with people who hit, who cheat and lie and be disrespectful and cheat. Those are the type of people you do not want to be around. And I mean that on everything. You said if she hits you, she might burn you up in sleep. I mean, you never know. And that's why I said, if you are with a violent woman, that relationship should be over. And you should not hesitate to get hurt arrested because she won't hesitate to get you arrested, whether it's intentionally or not. If you put your hand on a woman and somebody called the police, you go to jail, point blank. All right. One thing I have to say about my son, my oldest son, I remember one time he was dating this chick, and he was doing the most. He was on the phone talking to another woman, and his girlfriend was hiding in the closet to catch him. So she was listening to him. When he was on the phone talking to the other woman, who is now his wife now, his girlfriend bust out of the daggone closet and popped him dead upside the head with a phone. He remembered what me and my soon-to-be ex said when he said, "You better not put your hand on a woman." Okay, and he didn't. Instead of hitting her, he hit the wall. All right, but what else he did is he put her out, just as I told him to do. Because the thing is this right here, women, we cannot be hitting men, all right, and then expect for them not to hit back. Now, everybody is not like my son. He does not hit women, all right? Some men will knock the shit out of you, especially if you hit them in the head with a damn phone. He said that phone hurt like heck. That's what he told me. And the girl, I'll never forget that, because she called me on the phone and telling me that he put her out. And then I'm asking her what happened. She said that she hit him upside the head with a phone, right? And I was like, "Did he hit you back?" She said no. And I was like, "That's cool, good." And then I called him up, and he told me he was not letting her back in. And I said, "Call the police on it," but he said no, because he was a police officer himself at that time. He said no, because what happens when you call the police. But he left her ass outside. She was sitting outside the whole time. He did. I mean, eventually they got back together, but he ended up letting her go. But yeah, she was sitting outside, y'all. It was a hot ass mess. But the thing is, he did exactly what we taught him to do. Not do anything. All right. Don't be putting your hands on a woman. Because the thing is, if he would have put his hands on her and just say she called the police, even though he's a police officer, he probably would have got arrested still and lost his job. And so we can't be letting people mess up our careers. You know what I'm saying? We just can't. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to let these chicks go and these men go too, because these people are crazy these days. They would try to unalive you, you know what I'm saying? Or your kids. So you got to let go, crazy ass people, because they don't be knowing, they just be crazy as hell. You said your friend, girl tossed, has a pot with boiling chicken grease on him. She threw a pot of water. Wait a minute, hold on. Boiling she was boiling chicken grease and she threw it on him. So what happened to him? Damn, burned his face. Now, see, stuff like that, it would take everything in the world to stop me from beating the shit out of her. Okay, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So therefore, like I said, she would be arrested. And I don't know what charge she would get, but I guarantee you she's gonna spend some time in jail. You cannot do that. You cannot, you can't do that. You just can't. Now, if this man is hitting her and she grabbed this and threw it at him, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But you just can't be doing this weird shit. And so, like I said, Sean Diddy Combs, his attorney definitely needs to say that he's going to be taking all these classes, because they make him take these classes in prison. In jail. I don't know. Well, he should be saying, if he can, he should be letting them know that he's taking these classes in jail to make himself even better, so he can stop, doing this weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Including the X thing, the D thing, the abuse stuff, domestic violence, all of that stuff. Because if they see that he's doing these things, or he's willing to do these things, along with taking all his privileges away, they may let him out on bail. He trying to get out of jail and still be able to go to damn Miami. Go to what else? To California. I don't understand why they even said that. That's weird. Why would the judge okay that? Because he got homes there? You don't need to go to your homes there. For what? Shh. For real? Shh. I hope they're not still fighting or anything. Okay, hopefully they stop fighting. And somebody said Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty on the charges that made sense. if you wanted him guilty, they should have tried him for domestic abuse and battery. The thing is, and I say that too, but you have to go by the law. The statute of limitation for Cali for domestic violence and battery is they can't do anything. Okay, they can't do anything. But I'm very sure maybe they can. I don't think so, because we looked up every possible charge that he could get, and everything had reached a statute of limitation. All right. The thing is, when these things was happening, even if Cassie would have waited 3 years later, not here in Cali though, because I forgot what it is, she would have had to file those charges within a certain amount of time. So even if she waited a year, okay, I think she could have filed those charges here. She could have reported that and got him, charged for domestic abuse and battery here. But you have to do it within a certain time frame. So they know that the statute of limitation is over. So therefore, even though they don't have him tried on domestic violence, I still believe they're definitely looking at that. And we already know they are, in order to, convict him for what he's been found guilty of, but according to the law. And that's another reason why he didn't get let out. Like I just told you, the judge was looking at his battery, his abuse of Cassie in that video, even though he's not on trial for that. And you know what? I think attorney Mark Agnafilo, he should appeal it and use that in the appeal, because they shouldn't be using that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not on trial for domestic violence. Okay? And he was convicted of transportation. I forgot how they call it. Transportation for the purpose of the P word. I think that's the way it's listed. So that's what he is convicted of. So everything should center around that. All right. But it may center around that, the tape, because the video, since he was acting, beating Cassie up, and then there's new things of him beating Jane Doe and whatever else. I think they're just using it, like I said before, just to show you as a pattern. So again, I'm not a lawyer, so therefore I still say Mark Agnafilo should still bring that up, because you never know, you make them use that. Somebody said, they said the case was not about abuse. They made up charges to lock him up. Do your research before talking. Okay. I don't know why everybody keeps on acting like he's charged with domestic violence or he was on trial for that, because he wasn't. Somebody said this isn't about nothing. Wait a minute. This isn't about nobody not caring about women. This should have never been a RICO. They wanted to smear his name because of who he is. Not a soul would have cared if he went to prison for DV. Everyone was in favor of that. What we want him to do, what we want him to go do life for, and all they did was get up there and talk about consensual freak-offs for 7 weeks. Nothing was proven. It was all hearsay. And like most DV victims, Cassie walked away with millions. No, not like most DV victims. No. It's not, because most DMV victims, they don't walk away with millions. Okay, this person said, I cannot stand the victim mentality because women do some effed up shit to men too. He's no saint, and neither were they. I don't think none of them was saints. You say he's going to get about 5 years, Jermaine? 5 years, okay. So you said the judge is going to ask for 5 years. I mean, he's going to do 5 years, right? He's going to ask. He's going to give him 5 years. So he already got 1 year served. So he'll basically do 4 years. 4 years in prison. Well, you know what? Mark Agnafilo already warned Diddy that he's not going to be free anytime soon. He told him that. Somebody said, get over it. Everybody knew she was lying. Everybody knew she wanted to freak off. She may not want that A beat, but she was just as much into it as he was. I think, honestly, I mean, they said they did it to make him happy, but I also do believe that they did it too because, they wanted to. But at the same time, like I said before, I also believe that sometimes they did not want to do it. All right, point blank. And then he used this manipulation tactics to have them go ahead and do it. And with Cassie said that he got mad and went off on her. And then I think Jane Doe said the same thing. So it is what it is. A lot of people say, why did they stay? But if a man, let's keep it real. If a dude is giving you $10,000 a month to pay your mortgage in a very, very, very nice home, gave you $15,000 to furnish it, getting your teeth done, giving you money, buying you all this expensive jewelry, clothing, bags, and maybe giving her an allowance. Y'all know a lot of y'all, it would be hard for y'all to leave. And the reason why I say that, because look at the domestic violence situations, cases, incidents, and everything else. A lot of these women stay with these men even after they get their ass beat 50,000 times. And these men are not rich, okay? So if you are with a man that's taking care of everything, giving you money like that, let's keep it real. It would be hard and difficult for some women to leave, all right? It takes a certain type of woman to leave, okay? Point blank. Just like it takes a certain type of woman to fight back. Let's keep it real. For me, I would have been saving up money, some type of way, and then got my ass away from him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would have done. Oh, 5 years is a statute of limitation here in Cali. So Cassie had up to 5 years to go ahead and file charges, So she could have used all the way up into 5 years to 4 years. And then she could have did it. So he's not in domestic violence. He hasn't been charged on that because, she didn't file charges. She should have filed them, point blank. Because I would have, because you can't say, okay, you're scared to file domestic violence charges, but you're not scared now. A couple more years later, you're not scared now because the same thing he could have done back then, he could still do it now. It doesn't even make any sense to me. Somebody said Cassie is innocent and all she wanted was money. Somebody said Cassie and her husband are first-class gifters who just financed Diddy for $20 million for acts she admittedly orchestrated and enjoyed. Freak-offs. Diddy is poster child of what not to do when you are an uber successful black man. Also, they're right. Don't do this, black man. Number one, no freak-offs, all right? Unless you doing a freak-off with no male or female escorts, okay? And don't be forcing them and don't be manipulating them. It's just got to be free willing. You know what I'm saying? Don't transport them for the purpose of the P word and all this other weird stuff, all right? And watch who you start, who you get with and stuff. And make sure you just respect people and things like that, and just learn who your real friends are too. Because a lot of people be your friend because of money, all right? When you stop all that money, you find out who is your real friends, who are your real friends. And just like when you have women or men, when you stop all that money or you decrease it all the way down, then you find out who is the real person. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is take that money away. That's when you'll find out who's real. Because real friends, real spouses and stuff, girlfriend, boyfriends, people who help you, when you take money away from them, they're still going to be your friend. All right, point blank. Okay, let's see what else we got because we have to get off. We've been on here 2 hours. Let me hurry up. So Judge Mathis advises the public to respect the jury's verdicts in the Diddy trial because they listen. I don't know why y'all don't respect it because they looked at evidence we did not see. They seen the freak off videos. Okay, they saw those. All right. They read all of the text messages, even the ones they didn't tell us about. They saw these people firsthand, their emotions, their expressions, They saw everything, things we did not see. We saw sketches, okay? They heard all of the background and everything else, stuff that we don't even know. So, and they read the judge's instructions and everything else they needed to go over. So trust me, they made the right decision. All right. We can't do that because we're not there. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the instructions. We didn't see all of these people face to face so we can see their expressions, how they say certain things, so we can hear everything. And we certainly didn't see the freak off videos, all right? Or any pictures that they showed to them only. We didn't see none of these things. So we can't trip out on the jury, all right? Because they did what they thought they should do based on the evidence. Everybody's talking about this. Chris Combo talked about it. He said that the government wanted you to believe Diddy was a one-man criminal enterprise, which is crazy as hell. All right. So the thing is, if he was doing this, where were all the other people that worked with him, that did it with him? That's crazy. What happened to all these people? Okay. That's crazy. It's just simply crazy, you know? Let's see what else we got here on Diddy. And then we're going to get ready to get out of here. Let me see. So we cover that. Okay, we cover this. And then let's do the jury person. And then that'll be it. I think I covered everything. Let's see. I think that's it. Okay. So one juror breaks his silence on this whole entire thing. Okay. So it said, for the first time, a juror who took part in Sean Diddy Combs' 8-week trial is speaking out. George, one of the 18 people, which included 6 alternates who served on Combs' jury, spoke with both CNN and the New York Times a day after Combs was found guilty of only 2 of the 5 criminal charges he faced. The man, who was one of the alternates and therefore was not privy to the 12-person jury, 2 days of deliberation, told the news outlets, "I understand the verdict." Okay, so he said he understand. He said, reading all my notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors. Okay. He said, I think there was always a little bit of doubt in people's minds. I think it was a tough case to prove, especially the first charge of racketeering. There was always a little bit of doubt, even from the beginning. Now, George, who said he was aware of Combs before the trial, but did not know his music, also said Combs' defense team managed to make Don Richer appear very not credible. I even wrote in my notebook, it was like a takedown, George said. Now, the man described being impressed by the defense work in court and noted Combs was very attentive in the courtroom. He was fighting for himself. That's what George said. All right. So that's what George said. He also told the Times he wasn't convinced by the prosecution's assertions that Cassie and Jane Doe were ex-trafficked, counts 2 and 4 of which Combs was not found guilty. He said, I don't think it was forced. All right. All right. He's talking about their actual encounters with escorts, which he not only watched footage of, but also heard about during the testimony. He added that they seemed to be willing participants, telling CNN the defense showed text messages from Cassie in which she did not seem forced to participate in actual activities. However, George told CNN that I think we did believe Cassie. He added, she gave very credible testimony and said she would not have done all this just to come up there and lie about everything. So as for Jane, George told CNN, I did believe her. Some parts didn't add up as much. It seemed a little strange. He specifically referred to her testimony about the incident in which Combs allegedly physically assaulted her in 2024. George also downplayed the so-called freak-off videos that were shielded from public view. He revealed the footage involved extra activity, but it wasn't as graphic as some speculated. Y'all hear this? Did anybody else tell you guys about all this? Well, if they didn't, you heard it here on Shay's Tube. Shay. No. Anyway, Diddy trial testimony BOMB shells. Okay, so he said it was actually pretty tame. It was just a lot of rubbing oil and stuff. It wasn't anything too graphic. Okay, so they were just basically putting baby oil on themselves and engaging in extra activities, you know, like orgies type situation. Let's see what else George is saying. So despite not seeing Combs as guilty of the most aggressive criminal charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, George told Coates he is not eager to have any communication with Sean Diddy Combs, and neither would I be. He said, to be honest, I really would not want to talk to Combs or anyone associated with that. And you know what? I agree with you, George, because if you are associating with him and you know he partakes in all this weird shit, then you are weird. Okay, point blank. And that's on everything. All these people going to these damn parties and stuff, doing the most. And as soon as he gets charged and things like that, everybody wants to fall back and say they did not go to these parties. We know some of you guys are lying. All right. We know some of y'all went, point blank. Okay. So that is it for this live, you guys. And wait a minute, hold on. So many people. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. My gosh. Anyway, like I said, you know, that's it for this live tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notifications so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. Happy 4th, you guys. It's 4th of July. Look at the fireworks in the back. Let me show. So that's my 4th of July, you know, background that Jermaine did. He also did one for my Country Rain reaction videos, which I'll be showing that tomorrow. Thank you, Jermaine, for your good work. You do such good work, hun. Thank you so much. You are one of the best mods here on YouTube and off of YouTube, okay? And that's on everything. All right, let me take this down right here, y'all. Let me put this back up here. He also did these too. This one and that. Very nice. I really love this one right here. It reminds me of the Soul Train train somewhat. It looks like a little train. Yeah, it does. All right, let's see. And okay, Jermaine. Anyway, like I was saying, guys, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody in the bushes, everybody watches this in the replay. Thanks to Jermaine for always being here. Tony Bands for coming by, showing support. Have a good night at work, Tony Bands. Let's see who else. Paulio for being here like always. I appreciate you. And let's see who else. I think that's it. And everybody in the bushes, everybody watching this in the replay. You guys are so great. Thank you so much. And y'all have a safe and happy 4th. I will do my videos tomorrow. You know, I'll do the Country Rain reaction video, obviously. because they got a good ass video. They just did a good ass skit. And then I'll do the Night Owl live. Now, because tomorrow is Friday, so we will do Fuck You Friday, and I got some crazy ass stories to tell you guys. All right? So until then, I think I covered everything. I know I didn't give you guys breaking news today, but it's cool. I'll give it to you guys tomorrow. All right? Have a blessed 4th of July. Have fun. Eat like you never ate before, and stay safe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. And don't forget, if you want to show any support, financial support, you can donate to Super Sticker, Super Chat, or you can copy yourself a membership for $4.99, or you can do a Cash App donation to $Shades too. All right? Everything is appreciative. All right, y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all in my next live. Peace out. Let me change everything. Y'all know how I do this. How I do. I got to change this stuff. We need to put Happy 4th. First, let me put this up here. Hold on, y'all. Thank you for watching. Not reaction. I'll be having. And we put this up here, like always, and this. And then we're going to top it off with this right here and turn this music off and put this outro on. And we are getting ready to get out of here. Y'all. Good night, y'all. And again, happy 4th of July. Let me put this on up now. Good night, y'all. I done said it about 1,000 times, but really, good night.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I lacked game, back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right here, late night with Shay. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. Shay's too. She back again. Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's too.